Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's January 2nd. We're starting out a new year. I hope everybody had a nice break. I know I did. I hated to come back today, to be honest. Had a little issue when I got back to the office this morning. We're having a little cold spell here in the south, and when I say, when it gets down below freezing and stays that way for a couple of days, it's crazy around here. And for some reason, the heat was off in the office when I came in this morning, so it was freezing in here. It was only about 10 degrees this morning, so um, I'm not sure what had happened. I turned the heat off and turned it back on, and it finally warmed up. So I wasn't sure if I was even going to get to trade today, but I did. It was a little chilly for the first hour or so, but then it warmed up in here, and I just been trying to get caught up today, catching up with emails and stuff like that. So um, not a bad trading day, not a great one. It's really mostly all uphill. It looked like we were going to reverse here and maybe sell off, but we didn't, and we ended up continuing higher for the rest of the day. It was mostly all buys. There are a couple of possible shorts here. I'll talk about those when we get to them, but for the most part, you really, like I said, it looked like it was going to turn over here. Notice we had a double top, and then this is really, even though that's a triple top, that's a lower high because look at the closes are getting lower, and then lower highs and lower closes again. So I really thought we were going to turn on over there, but when it reversed, it's a good place to get long, obviously. But we'll talk about all that when we get there. Um, should be just a normal week this week. I'll be in. We'll go through Thursday like usual, and then no chart lesson on Friday. So just trying to think if there's anything else, housekeeping, so forth. I've I really appreciate everybody was pretty good about not sending me emails over the holidays. So um, I've got some stuff to catch up on, but it wasn't anything like have had sometimes when I've been gone at the end of the year. So thank y'all for holding on your emails. And if you're waiting on an answer for something, if you don't get one by Tuesday or Wednesday, then send it again because maybe I didn't get it or missed it or something. But it shouldn't take me but a day or so to get caught up here. But anyway, let's talk about the trades. It's mostly all uphill. Um, I would have measured this first leg up, and really from right there, I'd look for a measured leg, and you can see we actually ended up going a little further than that. But that would have been my first target there, and we came real close. And you might have even measured it from here too. Uh, to here, and then once we went higher right here, looked for it again, and you can see that pretty much gave you your exact measured move right across there. So that would have been your secondary target. Generally, you get two legs of correction in the middle of the move, and so that would have that's why notice there's two legs down there. But notice up here we had two legs too as well. So that's one leg down, a little two-legged correction, another leg down. So once we started going higher here, you had to kind of suspect that, hey, we may be going to try to make another move up. Uh, but anyway, let's talk about the trades and we'll wrap it up. I'm not going to take long today. It got a little flat up here, really, to be honest with you. It's not quite a range because we're making lower highs all the way down here, but really we're making higher lows every time as well. So it's kind of we're just kind of at that impasse. A lot of people would draw a flag here or a pennant or whatever, but I don't believe in those. I just believe that when you see those kind of pennants, you're just at an impasse between an up channel and a down channel, and that's really what you get. And really, we're just kind of going flat here, a little correction. That's a pretty big move up. Then you get a little correction, and you start on your next move. So. But anyway, let's talk about the trades. First trade I saw was here, and really I liked this setup, but your signal bar is really here, so you had to put your stop below this bar. But you could have let it break above this bar and either dropped a limit order in or if you'd have tried to get anything back where you originally wanted to be, you wouldn't have got filled because notice it gaps up there and takes off. So really, the only thing you could have done was drop the limit order where your original buy stop would have gone above that bar, and you might have got filled, but probably not because it took off pretty quick. So I doubt you could get filled on this, even though it is 2 legs back. And that's where I would have been looking for my second leg up. But it does give you a quick chance to come back here and get in, and it really gives you 2 chances. But notice the new low there. I drew this off these highs and pulled it down, and that was another reason I wasn't quite sure about that one there, because we weren't really back to the trend line. However, it's really hard to tell that maybe this was the trend line at that point. And it may still be because, see, you get that little gap over right there and everything's underneath it. So that still may be correct, but I just pulled it on down to the low, and when we came back here, it fit perfectly. So that's where I left it. It works either way, but this was kind of a difficult trend to find. So really, I was trying to play the shorter term stuff as well. But when you got this double bounce here, right off the low, using that same trend line up there, I kind of liked it. I was hoping maybe we'd keep this trend line all day, but it didn't happen. But anyway, this one is really risky, and you probably couldn't get in anyway. But when it comes back here and gives you, and notice there's a leg down, a little correction, another leg. That's really 2 legs down, but more than anything, that's a new low. It's lower than that swing low. So first entry short and then a second entry short, even though it didn't break higher, still a second entry short. You got a higher low there, and it fails, and it nice little fairly small bar, low risk, right off the trend line, and it bounced there twice. I like going long there. And when it came back here, I would have liked it better if you get a break lower here. I believe there's a break. Let me just make that bigger. I believe that broke lower on my chart, but it seems like it was just a double bottom. No, it's just a double bottom. I would have liked it better if it broke lower. If it did break lower on your chart, I would have liked it better, but it's still a lower high, and so can be considered a second entry long, counting off that high there. And just the fact that it tried to go lower and that trend line's holding, look how it's holding the closes. So I still liked, if you weren't in yet, you could get in here, and I liked adding on there if you're already in. So that turned out to be a pretty good trade. And you actually got a failed second entry long here, but you got to go long right at the high of the day. And on this little shorter term trend line, we've already gotten several closes outside, so I just didn't like it. I think you just had to kind of wait on the next correction, and that next really big correction didn't come till here. Notice the high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry, a nice reversal bar, nice bullish bar. I like going long there. And at that point, I was hoping we'd get another measured move, a second leg up like this first leg. But you already had your other target up here the way that I'd showed you, and we weren't quite there yet. So I really thought maybe we'd shoot on up to that. Didn't, but you still got a nice move here. You might have wanted to exit when it started going sideways or broke higher and made that. This is really a slightly lower high. It's maybe a tick lower than that double top. And so, but that's still you got your high, then you test it twice, a nice bearish bar. So I like going short right there. It's a little risky because we don't have a new high yet, so I marked it green. You get a lower high here, and it actually broke higher and turned and went out the other side. I didn't mark that one, but I meant to. And it's like right on the borderline. It's probably why I forgot to mark it. I couldn't remember if we wanted it to be. I couldn't decide if I wanted to make it green or red. It's a lower high after another. Really, this is a lower high from that double top. It's a double test here with a lower high. It did go higher first and then break out the other side. So there's a lot of reasons to like that setup. So it's really right on the border of being green and red. I'll be honest with you, I'll probably take that trade. So if you liked it and took it, I'm okay with it because it really, we did have a break and we tried to go higher a couple of times. And then now you got 2 legs down and you really made a double bottom here. So I kind of like that one because now, and plus you get that one leg correction, then a couple legs up, and then another leg correction. And this is not quite a measured move here for this one, but it's close enough. And the fact that we made a higher low here from this one, um, and it's a real small bar, it's like 3 ticks there. So I like that one. At this point, it really looked like we were going to go sideways, but we kept making lower highs, but yet we're making higher lows at the same time. So it was a little, it's still kind of, you can still see we're going above the EMA, below, above, below, above, below. So it's still sideways, and you can trade it both ways, even though we still got a slightly upward bias. So, and it did look like it was maybe about to turn over. So again, that one could be real close to red. I like going long here again, just to try to ride it back up to test these highs, see if you might get another new high, or might start another leg since there's 2 legs of correction there. And but we come up here, we make a high, and we already had one there, and then we make a double top. And even though that looks like a doji, it could have closed on its low. It's not quite in the middle. Um, it's a double test of that high. So I like that one because I really thought at this point we were going to move on down and maybe sell off or have a bigger correction. It was an easy scalp, but you didn't really get anything else out of it. And when it turned back up here and made this much higher low, again, you got maybe 3 ticks in that bar right there. Another very low risk entry. So I like entering there. Easy scalp, and then you get a first entry, second entry that fails, and so you get another chance to go long. The only problem with this is you got all that resistance across there. And we hadn't gotten through it yet. But with that trap, generally that will get you on through there. So you might have taken that one. The better one probably would have been when it tried to go lower again. But this does confirm that shorter term trend line as well. Notice you got it off those first 2 swings. It comes back. So you might have wanted taken that one. Being that late in the day and going long right into those highs, I'd probably skip that trade. But it does fit our criteria. And if you want to be a little aggressive, because there weren't a lot of trades today, really, you might have taken that trade. So that's what I saw today. There's plenty of chances to make some money here, especially if you got in here early on. Once it started going sideways here, you might have just sat still and waited to see what happened. Because it is a little confusing because we're making lower highs across here, but at the same time we're making higher lows across here. So, but it's definitely a trading range, even though it doesn't have real clear lows or real clear highs. You can see we're above, below, above, below, above, below, and you can see how flat the EMA is getting there. That's a good sign. And you notice here we got back above and we tried to go lower twice. That's another reason I like that one. We couldn't get back below the EMA after 2 tries. And we're making higher highs there every time. And really we're making higher lows across here as well. So for that reason, that was, that's some more reasons to say, hey, I like entering there, maybe take a chance on if we're going to go on higher, plus the trend line. So there's some reasons to like that one. And you could almost, if it wasn't right into those highs, I'd say you'd make it blue. But the fact that it's right into those highs, it's dangerous going long into those highs. So I'm not going to give it anything more than a green. But there are some reasons to want to take that trade. So it fits some of our criteria if you want to be a little more aggressive. But yeah, not a lot going on today. I'll back out just to give you a little better look at it. But you can see that's definitely an uptrend all the way. It went a little flat here for a little bit, but you're still making higher lows all the way across here. And that's an uptrend. So and you could tell once we got back above the EMA here, notice how we stayed above it. So it's definitely back to the long side, and you're only trading it long from that point on again. Only time you can trade it both ways is when you're above and below the EMA and going sideways. So I hope that's clear. Hope you had a good trading day today. It's a little boring for the first day back, but I've seen worse. So I hadn't even really looked at the market to see what it did. It looks like we're about where we were, where I left off. Looks like we did have some movement a couple of days, maybe. But for the most part, well, there's a pretty good day there. Nothing super spectacular, but there's movement on those days. So there was a chance to nice downtrend there on the 19th. I can't remember. That might have been here on the 19th. I can't remember what day I left. Um, but yeah, doesn't look like there was anything too spectacular going on while I was out. But you had some movement if you traded. So hopefully you had some good days. Um, but yeah, this is not a bad day for the first day back. It just got a little bit sideways here, and it might have been a little confusing because you're making the lower highs, but at the same time you're making the higher lows. And so um, sometimes, the best trade when you're if you're not confident in your trade, the best trade is always no trade. So sometimes you're better off just to sit out of this stuff because it's not real clear where prices are going. First I thought prices were fixing to turn over here and sell off, and then I thought they were going to take off higher again, which they ended up doing. And so there's really no clear signal of what's going on here. It's a little bit confusing. So if you got confused in here, don't let it beat you up. Just watch for the double tests and that kind of thing, and the higher lows and the traps and things like that. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a little better movement tomorrow, a little more a little clearer day tomorrow. But I'm done for today. Welcome back. Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope you had a great holiday season, and we'll get back to normal all this week. So, but anyway, I'm done. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.